we've got Sam here. Sam, another Chinese fan from over there. Whereabouts in China are you?
Oh, well, I was originally in Tianjin, which is like, 30 minutes away from Beijing up in the north. But right now I'm in the middle part of China. And, it's also the most populated part of China. And it's still partially locked down.
You're still in lockdown?
Well, because there are some still increasing cases here. I mean, the part of China where I am is pretty much the same in terms of size with England, but we have 100 million people living in this small area. So it's tricky to get the situation in control. So basically we're still in lockdown, but it's not that, like, the situation is basically back in normal. Like, you can actually get to the supermarket to buy groceries. People are actually going to back to work, and I would say the life is heading the right direction to be back to normal.
Okay, so interesting that, because and I know I've been to China, so I know that it's a huge country. When I went there, I was like, this place is big. You know what I mean? I've never seen such a big place, but I know it's such a huge place. But interesting, we were just chatting to Liv there, who lives in Beijing, and she was saying that things are more or less back to normal. That you got to people are wearing masks. They test your temperature literally everywhere you go. But apart from that, it's getting there. It's getting back to normal. You're saying that where you are is a little bit more behind that, like getting there.
Yeah, because we're actually closer to Wuhan, where the epidemic center was, and we're just like 1.5 hours away from there. And also, I told you, we're really populated, so it's gonna take time, but I think it's gonna be back to normal in a few days. Like, right now China kind of sealed the border to control, like, all the foreign nationals are temporarily not allowed to enter China. And also like, the government is taking lots of policies to crack this down, and I have faith that the life is going to back to normal really soon.
Yeah, because obviously every single one of us over here in the UK, number one, for our own personal selves, want to see things get back to normal, but also we're a football channel. We want to see football get back to normal, and we keep thinking, can we see the Premier League season? I mean, obviously we're a couple of months behind where you guys have been, so we're looking at it and saying, well, if you guys are starting to get back to normal now, what does that then look like for the Premier League? When does that get back to normal?
To be honest, I don't know that much about the situation in England. I left England last year to do business trip in the United States and also Malaysia. So I'm not. I don't know what's been happening. But in terms of the Chinese Super League, well, the starting date is definitely constant changing, but presumably it's going to restart at around June, like the middle of June. So I'm not sure if that's going to be the same in England. Hopefully it's going to be back, because sports fans are definitely hungry. I've been seeing people searching for Burundi Football League to watch Tajikistan Football League.
If the Chinese Super League does start back, right, is it going to be with fans, or is it going to be behind closed doors?
Yeah, there's a confirmation from the CFA saying that there's not going to be the case where the game is played without any fans, because it's a highly commercialized football league over here, and there's no point for them to play a game with with the door shut.
So the intention is to open it back up and play it with fans.
Yep.
Okay.
That's 100%.
Okay. Well, I think we're going to be watching very closely from over here what you guys do, because, as I said, you're ahead of us right now with this, where you were a couple of months ago. So kind of we're going to be learning off of what you guys are doing to see if we can implement the same thing here. And if you are able to play it with fans, that's encouraging for us that we can get it back on over here at some stage with fans as well. Because watching these games behind closed doors with no fans, it's awful. It is awful.
I know exactly what you mean. And also, I'm glad you brought the point, like you learning. I think learning is one part in terms of dealing with this pandemic, but also helping each other. Because I remember at the very beginning of the pandemic, I got calls from, you know, my friends from UK, from the United States, asking if I'm doing okay and sending me masks. And right now, I'm pretty much doing the same thing. It's my turn. It's our turn to help you guys back. So, you know, I'm just so grateful that you brought me into this brilliant event. And also, I donated 1,000 masks to the NHS workers. And
you donated masks. You donated some masks to the NHS workers.
Yeah, the representing the Chinese Crowley Town Fan Club.
Fantastic, fantastic. What's your team then?
Well, my team back in China is Tianjin Teda. We've got few former English club players, like, you know, John-Obi Mikel. He was with us a few years ago. And I actually met him in Middlesbrough last year, and he was a nice dude. And we have some big names like Sandro Wagner from Bayern Munich and Stig Tofting, who played for Bolton.
And what's your team? Your English team? What's your Premier League team?
I haven't picked a side. Well, everybody was trying to convert me to support their team, but I feel like I still need time to make the decision. But I've been supporting.
Time to make the decision to support Arsenal.
Well, one of my friends, you probably know him, Timothy, was trying to convert me to Arsenal fan, but I told him that I may need more time to decide it.
What time do you need? The time is now. Support Arsenal, right? I'd say, you know, you don't need no more time. We're the best in this country. I mean, you know, it's the biggest club. It's the best club in London. It's the club that everybody loves.
Well,
what more time do you need?
Probably after I actually watch a game with you guys.
Yeah, that's it. That's how we'll convert you. Next time you once this is all over and you come up to the UK, we'll take you to a game. Done. Just stay clear of Tottenham. You don't want to ruin, you know, go and join, you know, follow them, and then your life is ruined.
I was living in Whitechapel last year. So you know, closest ground to me was actually West Ham United.
That'd be West Ham, wouldn't it? That's sort of West. But then, you know what, Arsenal, we are London, right? So, you know what I mean, even Whitechapel, we got a lot of supporters, Whitechapel around East London way. So, you know what I mean, that's still Arsenal territory. You know what I mean? Come on board, you know, Arsenal, you won't regret it. Well, mind you, I don't know.
Well, I think I've got a potential reason to get me on board. I heard there's a really decent Chinese restaurant next to Arsenal's ground. Is that correct?
That is very true. That is very true. We do. See, that's another good reason, right? So make sure you come along and join Arsenal. But listen, I really appreciate you coming on today. Thank you very much for giving us a real insight into what's going on. Stay safe down here, yeah?
Yeah, you as well. And thank you so much for granting me this chance to...
no problems. And that's fantastic what you've done in donating those masks to the NHS. Thank you very much for that. Really appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you. We should help each other. We're going to get through this.
We're going to get through this. I love that. Thank you very much.
The coronavirus has not just affected the world of football, but has affected everybody. But you know what? We can defeat it. If you're displaying any of the symptoms, always make sure that you self-isolate. I know it's a terrible time, but we will defeat the coronavirus. We will be back.